Let me introduce Mr. Srinivas, who is a former Chief Information Security Officer, CISO. He is also a Chief Fintech Innovation Officer, and Information Security Cyber Security Researcher. He has over 20 years of experience working in information technology and cyber security. He has provided IT and cybersecurity services in various organizations like Pension Fund Regulatory Development Authority, IRDA, which is the Insurance Regulatory Development Authority, and he is also been associated with the NPCI, Andhra Pradesh Civil Supplies Corporation, Srinidhi Cooperative Bank, and various other organizations. He is a Master in Computer Application with a PG Diploma in Cyber Law. He's an ISO 27001 lead auditor and certified information security analyst. He is also a member of Financial Stability Board, which is a board of World Bank, and he's also a member in the National Cyber Security Strategy. And he has been part of various committees like interministerial steering committees and mobile app security for financial sector. So we welcome. This is a brief of Mr. Srinivas Bhoosarapu. We welcome sir on behalf of CBIP, and we request you to kindly begin your today's lecture, which is on risk-driven responses and functions. Sir, welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for your warm introduction. We are able to start. We are able to start. Checking that. So as of now, 65 people are there, and we are able to start the session about the information and cyber Ministry of Power has been initiated. So in this context, now today we are going to discuss about risk-driven response. So in case of any risk happen, how we are going to respond to that, and what kind of risks are there, and how we are going to handle that risks in context of that one, and how we are going to respond in various aspects. So that's what we are going to discuss today. So especially the learning departments or electricity department, state and central public departments are there. So we are going to learn about various things on that. In case of ransomware, in case of risk assessment, in case of how we are going to respond to those cases, we are going to learn on that. So in this context, what we are going to understand is understanding information and cybersecurity in power sector to secure the power utilities operations. So that's our learning objective, and how we are going to respond to that. Especially nowadays, if you look at various things like power sectors, not only power sector, every sector is now attackable. So continuous attacks are happening. In that context, now we can say response in case of a response, we can now we can call it as a resilience. Continuous attacks are going to happen. In that case also, how we are going to withstand to that. So especially once any attack happen to any of the transmission or generation or distribution centers, is going to impact a lot. So in order to avoid those kind of things, or in order to provide continuous operations in that scenario, or to withstand with the attacks at various levels, so how we should have to respond to that. So that's what we are going to learn about. So in that, today's thing is risk driven response functions, that is response planning. So first we should have how we are going to plan that as a part of our information and cybersecurity policy. Then analysis. So in case of any attack happens, or previous learnings, how we are going to analyze that, and
Sir, you are not audible, sir. And your screen is also not shared.
So I think you're on mute.
Is it fine now?
Sir.
Hello.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
it's clear.
Okay.
But if you haven't shared your screen, the
I
screen
think
is
somewhere.
haven't shared it. Kindly share, sir, as per your convenience.
Is it fine now? You're able to see my screen now?
Yes, sir, we are able
Sir,
to
yes, sir.
do the full
Yes, sir,
slide.
it's visible.
But not it is not visible here.
Is it fine now?
Sir, you
Is it
yes, sir.
is,
Yes, sir, it is
okay?
fine.
Yeah. So till now you have not heard anything.
No, you just started with the conversation that the introduction part we have heard a little bit.
Okay.
So yeah,
So this you have seen this screen?
that is visible, sir.
The the learning departments, what we discussed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, as a part of understanding about information and cybersecurity in power sector, to secure the power utilities operations in various areas like network level, with generation level, distribution level, transmission level, how we are going to secure that? Because nowadays we are going to expect a lot of attacks on the power systems. So how we are going to withstand with that? So in case of that, how we are going to make our systems as a resilient to that attacks? And in case of attack happens also, how we are going to withstand, how we are going to continuously provide the continuous operations to the customers. So that in that context, we are going to understand how we are going to make our risk driven response functions. So what are the different functions are there, how the response planning has to be done at board level as well as board support level, how you are going to get that one, and in how we are going to analyze in case of anything happens, uh, how we are going to get the forensics of that, and how we are going to mitigate that risks in case of incident happens, and root cause correction analysis and data collection of that using the forensics things. Then how in case of ransomware attacks, how the ransomware attacks are happening. So in order to avoid that ransomware attack, what kind of skill sets we require, and how you are going to empower your employees and your systems and IT assets, that also we are going to discuss. And in case of supply chain attacks, how the supply chain is going to be started and where that is going to impact in my day-to-day operations. So in case of, if you look at one of the scenario in Sri Shailam project also, we have seen because of supply chain of simple what you see the battery and what you call the fire extinguisher effect. So how it made entire thing gone down. So how we are going to mitigate those kind of things in the supply chain attack also, how we are going to check those kind of things, we'll going to discuss. And another one is risk assessment. So at various levels, right from operations, right from the network and human resources, at every level, how we are going to identify the risks and assess them and categorize it, and how you are going to mitigate it with the various controls in place. So what are the controls we required for that, and how we are going to compensate and control those risks with the whatever controls we have. And in case of, if you are not able to control, how you are going to transfer that to the uh, who is going to manage that. So that kind of risk assessment framework, that is ISO 37001 series or 33000 series, uh, uh, those kind of things also we are going to discuss. And another important area is a communication and escalation matrix. In case of any disaster happen or any incident happen, how our communication should be there. Like if you look at in the case of NCIPC, National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Center, how they have been provided various guidelines on the cyber crisis management, how we are going to manage that crisis, how we are going to perform the tabletop exercises, regular DR drills, disaster recovery drills, BCPs, how we are going to perform that in order to provide resilient operations in the power sectors. So that is the agenda to discuss today as per your 120 hours of training, so that you are going to discuss. So as a part of it, everybody knows the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So that's what I don't want to go into that one. So basically, we know that how you're going to protect the information from unauthorized users, and how you're going to avoid any modification in the systems or any kind of thing, how you're going to avoid those kind of things, and protecting from unauthorized one. And always making availability of our power systems in case of centralized system or say state level systems or state level load balances or national level load balances, how we are going to make this available for entire country. So that is very important context we should have to understand. So in this we know various threats, vulnerabilities, and risks are there. So how we are going to analyze those risks in case how the risk has been increased with the threats and vulnerability existed in the power systems. So in that, especially when you look at the 2007 or 8 cases of ransomware attack of WannaCry, so that has been happened in the West Bengal state electricity distribution company, that the Indian state power distribution company confined that the WannaCry infection had been detected at 4 of its offices. Four of the offices, especially that systems has been infected with the WannaCry ransomware. So that how that has been detected and how that has been recovered from that ransomware, we should have to understand. So that's what the various threats are there. Is one of the threat. One of the threat is that ransomware is one of the threat. We should be very careful with the this one, because nowadays most of the threats are coming coming in the form of ransomware. First, it is attacking on the endpoints, and that from that endpoints, so it is penetrating to the next level, next level, next level. So whatever systems are there, it is penetrating onto that. So we should be we should be very careful on the first level endpoints, and which is mostly compromised. So as a part of that, we should be carefully control those endpoints or mobile systems or communication systems. We should be very careful on that. So as a part of that, if you look at cyber attacks, recent cyber attacks, so that's what especially happened with the identity based attack techniques. That's why wherever you have your OTPs or your user credentials or your tokens, all the things. So if you look at that, 583% has been increased. So that is, we should be very careful on the identity systems which are there at every plant, whether it's a generation plant, transmission plant, or distribution plant, wherever you're using your identity systems. So most of the time, they're starting with the identity systems. So if you're using Active Directory or single sign-on or Actos or whichever you're using, we should be very careful on that. So that is the most neglected area or most attackable area. So as a part of your IT systems or your end users, wherever you're giving your identity systems, we should be very careful on that. And even if you look at the Ministry of Home Affairs regularly penetrating onto the various systems in financial systems or power systems, etc., and finding the loopholes in the Active Directory level as well, your SSO level and those kind of things. So that's where we should be very careful on the identity management of your employees, your service providers, or your vendors, or your third parties, whoever it is. That is one of the most important area we should have to concentrate in order to avoid any attacks on that. And second area is the remote monitoring and management area. Most of the time, Gencos or Transcos or distribution companies will have the remote monitoring and management tools. If you look at your SCADAs, your OT systems and IT systems, most of the time we are going to manage in the form of in remote to monitoring. Are happening, a lot of abuse is happening on that systems, so we should be very careful on that. And coming to the same thing, as a part of identity, the next area is the credential theft via cloud instances. So nowadays, in order to avoid cost and other things and smooth operations, most of the people are moving on to the cloud platforms. And in that platforms, cloud platforms, we are able to find the credential theft. So what are the credentials you have? That has been that kind of things are happening. So why it is happening? Because once that is on the cloud, we have various APIs, application program interfaces, which is there with the metadata. So we are giving the APIs to various um, departments, various billing systems, various monitoring systems. We are able to give various APIs to them. So via cloud instances, they are concentrating on the APIs. If the APIs are compromised, let us take the CEA and Transco or Power Grid or Power Grid with the POSOCO. So like this, if they want to exchange any kind of data or any kind of thing, they're using a lot of APIs. So now trending is happening on the theft of credentials of APIs, because once they're able to get the APIs related one, they're able to get the request and response parameters over there. So as a part of that, that kind of attacks are increasing on the APIs and their credentials. So that is one area we should have to very carefully plan as a part of response. So how our credentials has been used, when I last logged, whether I am using multi-factor authentication, two-factor authentication, and any certifications are there with that. So how I am exchanging with my third parties, and any open APIs are there. So how my API is talking to other systems API, and that should be carefully monitored in our SCADA systems and in our network operations center and security operations center and SIEMs or RODAs. So wherever it is possible, so we should be very carefully monitor the credentials of the users. That's why our security operations centers and network operations centers are helping. So that is a one area we should have to concentrate as a part of your planning. We should have to include that. And coming to the e-crimes, now we are seeing a lot of e-crimes. So that's what every 79th minute average e-crime is breaking out, and 7 minutes fastest e-crime breakout recorded, and 62% of interactive intrusion involved compromised identities. So that's what most of the time we have the interactive systems to know the millions of units, to know the up and down, or which is up, which is on and off, and how the power has been distributed from north to south, or the NLDC to SLDC, SLDC to distribution level. So in that interactive level, so most of the compromises are identities. So we should be very careful in that. A lot of intrusions are coming into that area. Yeah.
So what do you mean by 7 minutes faster e-crime breakout?
Sorry?
What do we mean by 7 minutes faster e-crime breakout?
So earlier we are not, after forming I4C and T4C, the compromise. So now we are using various tools. We are able to. Somebody. Some voice is there. Hello. Yeah. So whenever any crime is happening, now with the help of various tools, our skills, people are able to break out that. So that's what mean to say that they are able to solve that problem. Earlier, that is late. Now we are able to crack it, and crimes are also increasing, and capacity to solve that also has been increased nowadays. So that's what the 7 minutes fastest. So that's what the e-crime breakout time recorded. Clear?
So time taken to solve a case.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
So both are increased. Time taken to make the crime is also increased now. Fast, they are also fast, and to solve that case also increased now. So both the capacity as there, the criminals are increasing their capability. Our regulators or enforcement people also increase their capacity, because as lot of cyber crimes are increasing, cyber terrorism is increasing, power sector and in other financial sector, another sector like NCIPC, like 13, like MHA, like NCSC, they are also increase the capacity with the various tools and cracking that. So that's what the intention. So both the ways the capacity has been increased. So as lot of compromises are happening. So in both the angles, that's why this kind of capacity building programs has been taken as this 120 hours program to increase your capacity to find out any crime is happening, any compromise had been taken place in power systems. So that's why individual capacities has been increased, and every employee's capacity also has been increased to get the breakout of the crime, and uh, uh, to compromise also decrease in that way. So as we are using a lot of IT tools in the power sectors, so that's what the capacity has been increased. Okay. So from this, the main intention is, while you are planning your cyber security policy, we should be very careful to write clause about the identity system of the employees who are involved in IT systems of the power. So that is number one. And number two, the remote monitoring and management tools should be very carefully monitored, as abusing of whatever credentials you are given, that credentials should be handled properly and monitor that. So a lot of theft has happened through clouds. So in this context, government of India also launched a government cloud, and including Amazon, as well Amazon and Google, Microsoft also empaneled that, and regular certifications has been um, conducted for them, and all government departments they can use that one. So that's where the empanelment process has been taken place, and regularly they are also performing a lot of security audit, lot of security monitoring things also happen. You can use that platforms in order to avoid any kind of these credential theft and abusing. So that is the one. And also the intrusions involved and compromise the identity also taken care with the government given solutions. Okay. And coming to the ones, these are recent, that's what given the recent trends. Now coming to the cyber attacks in the power sectors, uh, I think many people have been discussed. Just I will go through this one. Ransomware attack, which is hit in 150 countries, we have seen. USA power outages in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and different things are there. Ukraine also we have seen, and cyber attack in hydropower generation in New York in 2013, cyber attack in Korea hydropower. So we can see the power sector is becoming the hot cake. Earlier the financial sector, now people, the attackers are concentrating at the power sector also. So which is witnessing these compromises, and these attacks are witnessing that. Uh, the trend. So these are the various things we can observe. So what are the different things are there? So So coming to which are the more prone areas, which areas were mostly concentrating. So while you're planning anything in order to respond to the attacks happen, so which are the areas they are concentrating, we should have to understand carefully. In that, the first and foremost thing is hardware layer, because we were getting a lot of hardware from various people, and various embedded components also there, the PLCs, RTUs, and as a supply chain is there, so many people are coming because they're sourcing from various small vendors, and accordingly they're building the embedded systems into that, and we are using that PLCs and remote term RTUs. So we should be very careful with that hardware layer. And on top of it, we are making the firmwares. So that's what the kernels, and which is acting like a mediator between my hardware module and software module. So that's where a lot of instructions has been given there, and that has been firmware layer. So as we are in the operations, when you are sourcing, so we should be very careful while taking any kind of products. So we should be carefully procure, and when you're writing in RFPs also, we should be very carefully write that firmware layer things, whether you're procuring ABBs or GEs or Honeywells, any products you are procuring, we should be very carefully understand the firmware. If you're not understanding also, take the help of the experts who are there in that, and based on that help, you can procure that things. So that's where the lot of compromise and lot of attacks are happening. That is one level. And second aspect is firmware, whenever it is updated, that is also another one. So a lot of people, we regularly we are updating systems and other things, but in case of firmware, how we are updating that firmware when it is end of service or end of sale, or new updates has been given to that firmware, that update is also very important, as they are identifying lot of vulnerabilities in the existing firmware that should be updated. So in that context also, we should be very careful how the hardware we are procured, and what are the firmware layer is there in that, and when that has been updated last time, how you are going to harden that firmware layer. So that is a very important area while you're procuring, as well as when you're operating that one also, we should be carefully monitor that. So that is the second level we should have to understand. And another with the software layer, and as we are regularly seeing lot of power control systems in that also, regularly we are seeing OS level updates and application level updates, and application server level updates, and code level updates, logic level updates, that we should have to understand according to the PLC, PCS also, we should be carefully take. That's what, when you're taking any software application, we should have to perform lot of application related VAPTs, OWASPs, um, these kind of things. So regularly we should have to perform on that. So once we got that certification, or uh, as per the NIST standards, as well as per the PCI standards, as the security standards, the software level, the software application, whatever we are getting for the power sector, we should be carefully test that regularly, perform regular testing on that, and whenever you find any bugs or any vulnerabilities in that, immediately patching of that, and uh, make it as a secure one. So that is a layer we should have to consider, and most of the attacks are happening here only. And it is the easiest part, because as my SCADAs or OTs and ITs are connected through endpoints. So from the endpoints also they are able to see what kind of softwares you are using, how that is working, and what are the loopholes are there. That able to find from the endpoints. So that's why, so endpoint level as well as your central systems also, applications and systems you should be carefully monitored. And that is a hot cake for the attackers, and whenever they find, they'll compromise this. And lot of data breach also happens because millions of homes and other substations, meters, everything is connected to the network. So these attackers can compromise and do lot of things. So in software layer, so lot of compromises will be there. We should be carefully monitor that.
Sir, your voice is intermittent. It's breaking frequently, sir. Can you?
Is it fine now?
So sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's breaking in between. So we are not able to
Maybe.
get a complete sentence.
Okay, okay. Okay, next one is a network layer. So once we have seen the hardware, we have seen the in the hardware we have seen the firmware layer, and we have seen the software layer. Now, so this is inside my server rooms, inside my data centers, inside my SCADA centers. Everything is, these are inside. Now I want to connect my external world, my external transmission, external distribution centers and generations. So in order to get that data from that locations, we are using a lot of networks. So the network layer, so the OSI and other things. So there, how I am connected to my source to destination. So wherever my source data is there, and wherever my destination applications are there, how these are connected, and how I am going to provide security on the network. So whether how I am using my firewalls, how I am using connected my modems, and what kind of field buses network is there, how my routers and switches, remote access points are there, how my protocols are given, how my policy has been implemented on that, how my access has been given to that point. So this is one of the challenging area, because this is in the public networks and private networks. So in that context only, I think if you understand, in the financial sector, in order to avoid these attacks, they created their own network, that is called Indian Financial Network. Maybe in case of the power system also, same kind of thing. The power grid has been started the same kind of network. If you use that filtered network and point-to-point network with the MPLS lines and other things, so most of the things that will be covered. If you take normal one, it will going to affect. So in order to avoid those kind of attacks, we should have the dedicated MPLS line, and point-to-point links from uh, dual connections and filter trafficking, the policy implemented on that at firewall levels and access control levels. So that's we should be very carefully handled, and every day that monitoring should be happen. Lot of devices will be given on my networks. So that's why that all the devices, whatever my switches, routers, uh, uh, all the devices I'm going to monitor, and any attacks are happening or any kind of things are happening in my devices, including my IoT networks and edge networks, fog network. If you are using any fog or IoT networks also, we should have to monitor, because nowadays everywhere we are using IoT. On that, in order to in addition to that, lot of cyber physical systems also coming up, which is going to get connected to my physical networks, and which is giving lot of data to my posocos and power grids to monitor my operations. So there also we should be very carefully handle that, and write proper policies, execute that policies, and continuously monitor that. The monitoring is a key area in the network devices. Continuously we are monitoring the data, but devices is also very important. And another important area is a process layer. Now, if you look at my process layer, so the power control systems layers interact to implement target power control system processes. So in my processor at generation level, so how my generations happen, how many millions of units are there, what is the load on that, and how I am going to mitigate increasing if somebody is increasing load on that, or how my transmission is happening, how my distribution is happening at my process level. So process, how I'm handling various processes in the power sector should be carefully monitored. That's why lot of SOP, standard operating processes, to turbine level operators, distribution level operators. So we should be give lot of SOPs on that and train them, and continuously improve that process areas wherever any lagging or any kind of thing is there. So this is where there are lot of vulnerabilities you are going to find out, and whenever any gap is there, regularly we should have to monitor that gaps and cover eliminate that gaps by strengthening various systems, and wherever it is required we should have to use that. So these are the more prone to vulnerabilities in the power sectors. So hardware, firmware, software, network, and process layers, these are important areas we should have to concentrate. Is that fine? Shall I go ahead?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So now I'll have one question to all. How many of you are having information and cyber security policy or cyber security policy in your organization? Simple question. Please answer with yes or no.
Please repeat the question, please.
Do you have information information and cyber security policy, or cyber security policy, or security policy? First, do you have information and cyber security policy? That can be given in information and cyber security policy, IT policy, many all at same time knowledge, no issues.
Sir, we do have this is Anil from IGRA. We do have a ISMS policy, but not a cyber security policy.
Okay. So that's why nowadays people are written as a information and cyber security policy, which covers everything, whether it is ISMS, security policy, cyber policy, all instead
Right.
of that, everyone now you can written as information and cyber security policy simply. And for that, you should have the justification why you are written information and cyber security policy. If you are given, all policies are in that only. IT and OT also you can include on that. In information and cyber security policy, you can include all. Oh, GSEC is no cyber security policy. Okay. So another question is, when you are updated last time? When last review has happened and when you are updated? Review and update. That is important. When is the last update or review and update of your information and cyber security policy or IT OT policy, whatever it is? When do you last updated your information and cyber security policy? (2023). Okay, fine. Most of the people are 2023. I got only 2 responses. What about others? Policy also I got very less. Out of 93, we have get very less.
Sir, we have updated just now in the month of July.
Okay, good. Okay, so many are up to date. Okay, yeah, we'll go ahead with the things. So if you look at one of the case, I think many of you know in Mumbai case. So how they're given and what is the cause and how it's happened. So the power outage in Mumbai. So whether it is human or cyber attacks, so that how that is happened and how outages happened in that. So another area is how the when you look at the planning and the things and awareness, so how the awareness has been taken to make suraksha. One of the policy has been taken by Transco in Telangana. So they're given this one for their employees and regularly check how to protect their mobile from hackers and internet of the things, internet of ransomware things and mobile security awareness, threats and precautions for, on the mobiles, then how to recognize phishing and avoiding that. So those kind of few initiatives has been taken as a part of cyber security. They're naming it as cyber suraksha. Even I've seen in Singareni College, SCCL. As I am from Hyderabad, SCCL, we have seen how they are doing, and Transco and Genco also we have seen a few cases how they're performing in information and cyber security, how their data and how these things are happening also we have seen. So in the same way, how we are conducting information and cyber security awareness program when you have last conducted information and cyber security awareness or any cyber security awareness for your employees who are working on the day-to-day operations in the power sector. When your last time conducted, how many hours? The question to all. When you have conducted cyber security awareness for your employees, when you have been conducted information and cyber security awareness in order to protect my IT systems and OT systems. Okay, last quarter one we got last quarter. When you have been conducted information and cyber security awareness in order to avoid. Policy is there, fine, but how when you are conducting? My question is that every month on first Wednesday, good. Every 6 months. How many employees has been covered? Percentage of employees. Good. How much percentage has been covered till now? These are one of the most uh, okay. How many are completed till now? As a part of your operations, how many have been completed? Conducting these good. We are able to see you are conducting quarterly. How many are completed till now? Percentage. If you take 20%, 50%, 100%, how many are completed till now? As a part of your securing your operations in your organizations and preparing the employees for responding to my any attack. So how many has been trained undergone into these awareness programs, cyber security awareness program? Okay, good to see. Okay, so like this, you can this is one of the planning activity as well as the operational activity and preparedness for the responding to any kind of incident happen, because the more you have the endpoints and more compromises will be there. If you are not educated them or trained them on this kind of incident or email compromise or incident or ransomware, etc., systems will be compromised. So in order to avoid those kind of things, first and foremost thing is how many endpoints are there. We should complete them regularly. We should have to train them in order to secure our power utilities from these attacks. So that is very important aspect. That's why I am repeatedly asking this question. So that's why policy awareness for them. And once policy awareness is there, what kind of systems are there, how these may be compromised. So that kind of thing we should have to give it to the employees. Then only we can reduce the risk in the power sector. So that is the one we should take with any name. They are taken Cyber Suraksha as a program. You can also continuously perform that activity. And coming to the efforts, when you've seen cybersecurity efforts, so in that when conducted, how internally approved cybersecurity policy, so how frequently they updating, how many are created, whether you have the policy or not, board approved policy or not. So those kind of things we have seen, and we got very less responses. Based on that only now CEA and Power Grid and other people also mandated we should have the information and cybersecurity or cybersecurity policy that should be in place. Not only writing in that, we should continuously every year we should have to review that and update according to the that year. Any new threats are coming up, any vulnerabilities are coming up. According to that, modification has to be done on the systems. So that is number one, the policy level thing. That's why I asked the question about whether you have the policy. If you have the policy, when last that has been updated, that is a as a planning level, that is very important. And coming to the implementation strategy, so everybody writes the policy. Let us take now, you're saying my employees has been trained. The how many hours of training has been given to them, and how many simulations, any simulators you are using, or how they are compromised, whether email level or systems level or social media level. So any OS level or antivirus level, how they are compromised. If they are compromised, how you are implementing, how you are getting the a strategic level support from the board level people. So that is also very important for us in order to avoid response level. If you are not having a good budget and good support from the management, we are not able to implement that things. So we should be very careful on that. Strategic level support also we require, and strategic level planning, continuous things should be there. And my question to all is, what is your overall budget for the cyber security or IT or cyber security in your organization? What is your IT and cyber security budget? Not in terms of numbers, you can say in the percentage also from your business. No issues, sir. What is your budget? Strategic budget you are getting for your IT, and then most of the time what we understood is uh, we are getting very less budget, and we are not getting support from the IT or board level people that we have seen. That's what in that context I'm asking this question, because in order to support any kind of thing, okay. Others, only one response I got it. This is a very, very important area in order to respond or in order to conduct any kind of thing. What kind of budget has been allocated? And in recent our national level cyber security strategy, we already given we already mentioned that we should have at least 10% of your budget for the IT and cyber security. That has been given. Maybe that will be, that will come as part of your circulars or kind of thing from the Ministry of IT. That has been distributed to all the departments. So 10% has been given. 25%, great. Not aware. So that is also important for us as we are involving in the operations. To take any initiatives, we should know that. Okay, so there's a one area we should be very carefully handled, because in order to get any strategic support, financial support, do anything, we should have the approved budget and effort for the information and cyber security. And a lot of how you're conducting cyber security pilot programs to do any proof of concepts, any small project on cyber security. So that is also required. Regularly we should have to perform. And cybersecurity programs fully implemented, like SCADA security, like antivirus in all the systems, like firewalls, etc., etc. We should be very careful on. We should start working on that. And no effort in place got with responses. So like this, most important areas has been taken into the consideration, and from this only some policy has been created and given to power sector people. And another challenges or primary challenges in getting a response to various systems is the lack of support from the utility board, and lack of support from the utility executives, and budget. That's what I asked you. And technology availability and maturity of that. So that is also a primary challenge, because most of the time indigenous technologies are not available. We are procuring from various entities, we know. So the technology availability is limited. Legacy systems also there. We are most of the time depending on the legacy systems. So now I think technology standards came into the picture in the last board meeting. Also CEA has been given, technology related standards also coming up. And important area is the lack of skilled workforce. So that's what CBIP, National Power Training Institute, state level training power institutes also taking a lot of initiatives to make people skilled in the cyber security and IT systems. So that is another area we should be very carefully handled. So after end users, now the administration, database administration, cloud level support systems, SCADA level support systems. We require the skilled workforce over there. So that's what we should be create that pools, and who are there in the existing one, we should reskill them, upskill them, and that kind of activities need to be initiated. And CBIP and NTPC, NPTI, CEA, Power Grid continuously sending for various training institute, and make them to get into these systems. So these are the challenging areas we should have to cover in order to provide proper and timely response in case of any incident happen on my systems. So that's what IEC has been given electricity grid coding in clause 4.6.5. already it defined that the cyber security framework has been given for all the utility companies. And in that the identify the critical cyber assets and protect them so as to support reliable operations in the grid. So the critical cyber assets should be given, and based on that only National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Center, NCIIPC, has been given task to identify the critical information infrastructure in the power sector, and how you are going to identify that, which are the critical information infrastructure, and how you're going to protect them. So assessment is one area. Once that has been assessed, these are my critical information infrastructure, and based on various parameters, how many systems are landing onto that, how many systems are depending on that. If it is goes down for one day or 1 week, how the impact on the lives is there, how the impact on the financial thing. So that kind of thing will be assessed in the critical infrastructure, and according to that the protection has been taken care, and regular disaster recovery DR drills has been taken care, will be in the place. So that is one of the important area has been defined by Indian Electricity Grid Code in that. And another one is power control system security requirements. So that's what once if you're identified the critical infrastructure, then how we are going to all the entities involved in generation, transmission, trading of power. So how we are going to protect that. So that's what has been mentioned in this. If you look at, just give me a minute. Yes, I'm showing that where that is there. You're able to see my screen? Hello?
Yes.
Please, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Slowly. Have you seen how the attacks are happening regularly? Are you able to see this one?
Yes, it is visible.
So we can understand how critical we are, how the real-time attacks are happening. So continuously real-time attacks, and especially in case of different attacks, web attackers, DDoS attacks, intruders, scanners, and anonymous. And in that, these are the various threats we are able to see this. So in this top application violators are injections, access violations. That's what your credentials and access things, and exploit, cross-site scripting, and data theft. So how the data theft is there, and using various network level attacker vectors like TCP flooding, UDP, DNS, HTTP, and low and slow attacks. So these are prominent attacks taking place continuously on various systems. So we should be very carefully monitor this, and avoid these kind of things, because a lot of DDoS attacks are happening. So especially in India also, we are able to see 16% of attacks are happening. We are able to see that in 1 hour. So if you look at 24 hours, how it is there, we can understand. So how in 24 hours, 17% attacks are there in India, which are same TCP, DNS, and UTP, ICMP, and cookies poisoning also there. So identity theft. That's what in first initial discussion we discussed about data theft. So a lot of data theft is happening through various devices and endpoints. So continuously we have your own SCADA centers and knock and SOC centers. So you can also monitor. Just I'm showing the general one at world level how the continuous attacks are happening. We can see from here. And coming to this one, NCIPC, we are able to see that various guidelines, how the how we are going to identify our protected systems, national security policy and roles and responsibility, how we are going to protect once if it is if that is has been identified as the critical information infrastructure, how we are going to respond to that. So guidelines for protection of CII and evaluating how you are going to evaluate your critical information infrastructure, whether it is critical information infrastructure or not. So that has been clearly defined it here. So based on this CII, we should be carefully add these points in your information and cybersecurity policy. You can take this as a source and you can add which are the services, which are the servers, which are the infrastructure on-premise, all the things, IT and OT also clearly defined here. So in order to provide timely response to that, the NCIPC also one of the nodal agency which is helping us to get response in addition to certain. So this NCIPC is also helping us to assess and provide a timely response to our systems. So to get that one, various phases is also given here. So that's what threat assessment, policies, procedures, SOC and NOC processes, which are there, IT and OT convergence and BCP DR drills. I think you have dedicated session on business continuity and DR drills and security controls and implementation of new security controls and compliance. I think power sector has a special um, compliance audit and other things. So we should be very carefully analyze this one, and accordingly you can identify the systems and find out the systems and controls on that network services, criticalities and interconnectedness and continuity of that. So that is very important. Now my question to is just mention um, at least 5 critical information infrastructures in power sectors. Mention 5 critical information infrastructures in the power sector in your day-to-day operations. Please mention at least 5 critical information infrastructure which you are observed as a part of your IT or cybersecurity. 5 IT assets which are critical in your organization. Load dispatch, okay, I'm accepting. Control centers, if control center goes down, power sector power will go. If SCADA is gone down, whether completely systems goes down, that is a criticality. Critical thinking is required. I'm accepting load dispatcher. So if it is down, entire, okay, firewall and WAS and gem box. If firewall goes down, power goes down, or what is the impact on that? Firewalls is given, control systems has been, WANs has been given, more. Relays, RTUs, got control centers, firewall, WANs, SCADAs, LDs, RTUs, okay. Which is a protection system? ID, okay. Good. Okay, good to see. Yeah. So that's why CERC, Communication System for Interstate Transmission Electricity Regulation 2016 has been given. Notify technical standards, cybersecurity requirements has been given, protocols for communication. That's what a lot of things are coming to the picture, including grid integration and neighboring countries also. So that's what they have mentioned clearly. Cybersecurity communication infrastructure shall be planned, designed, and executed to address network security needs as per the standards specified by the CA. That's what came into the picture. So now coming to the supply chain of utilities. So policy level, till now we discussed the policy, how the policy was there for planning my security in a power sector. So now supply chain level, we are able to see a low visibility and visible to end user and high visibility. These are three important areas we should be carefully understand, because low visibility systems will be compromised first. So if you neglect or low skill or low quality, if you're taken, so in that, the many or third parties, third tier suppliers will be there. So that's why due diligence, a lot of due diligence for the vendors, third parties will be taken place. So what they'll do is subcomponent level, integrated circuit, ICs level, cables and wires level, harness level, PC printed circuit boards, then LEDs and digital storage. So these are low visibility areas, and whenever you are taking any component, because your vendor is your big vendor who is going to provide systems to you, so he'll take from these third tier suppliers. So when he is taking, whether he has performed any due diligence for them, whether these kind of things are uh, performed with certification like STQC certification in Indian context, and in the other countries quality certifications and security related things also nowadays has been included in many of the systems. So when whether that has been properly performed or not, components, RTUs, PLCs, meters, and sensors. Nowadays, IoT sensors, intelligence electronic devices, hard disk drives, because now HDD is gone, SSDs came into the picture. So then software applications. So these are visible areas. We are going to see that about what kind of components you are taking. And coming to the high system like SCADAs and grids and other things, communications, control systems, and software and design and integration, especially integrating various systems like HANI to ABB, ABT, GE, or these kind of things. How you are integrating that, and what are the major subcomponents to components to major systems, how that has been built. So in the communication level, how the power grid has been given, how the BSNL has been given. So communication systems, how they're communicating from my one system to other system, and how that the control systems has been taken place. So there we should be very carefully monitor the devices, and lot of VAPTs and any updates on that, um, uh, vulnerabilities, designing level. So those kind of things we should not only we, if you are not having, we are into the operations, at least anything happened, any bugs, if you found at CISO level or end user level, they should report to you, and you should talk to the vendor. So these kind of things are these are gaps we are able to find it out, how you're going to patch it. And these kind of guidelines and regulations and enforcement came into the picture, how the technical standards need to be improved in these, in the major systems. That is which you are able to find how the logic is taken place, how the operations has been taken place. We should be carefully monitor that. So identify an incident. So once you got that before incident or during the incident and after the incident, how you are going to communicate to the product people, as well as internally how you are going to build them. So at every level in the supply chain, we should be very careful. And major supplier from whom you are going to get the due diligence of uh, the product vendor, and with the sub vendor also he has to provide. So what kind of sensors he has been used, what kind of devices he has been used, what kind of meters, RTUs and PLCs has been used, how that logic board has been built, and that should be verified carefully by the system providers. So this is a major area we should have to take into the place. And another one is substation level. So if you look at this is user management level, they're using Ethernet switch configurations. So that level also, which is going to impact our major systems, and how my antivirus is affecting me, and what are the new security features deployment taken to the place, how my firewalls and routers and VPNs are working, and how these VLANs and LANs segregated, how my central systems given with a secured VPN with a two-factor authentication or a multi-factor authentication, and how my perimeter protection has been given, and how my internal systems are managed. So if you compromised at your internal system level, so that will penetrate to the next level, and which is going to compromise my next level system. So that's where how you're going to segregate your network into different sub networks. And in the sub network, from now earlier we have the perimeter protection level. Now the perimeter concept has been gone. Now we are into the zero trust network. So we should not zero trust authentication mechanism and authorization mechanism, like a check-in protocol we are going to use. So zero trust framework we should have to establish, and in order to get immediate response to any kind of thing, everybody should prove themselves to enter into any system and to check any system. We should have the ZNF framework, the zero trust framework we should have to adapt. And according to that only our demilitarized zone, and network connection establishment to my next systems also given with that. So as we are seeing, meter to substation to distribution to the transmission to generation. So it is going to be escalated at every level. So how the network has been penetrated. So network level protection is very critical. That's why every device nowadays is monitored in the network operations center, and according to that the correlation engine. So whatever things are obtained from the my devices, so that according to that, the every time the device has been monitored and updated accordingly to the respective owners and divisions and distributed offices. That's what in case of West Bengal WannaCry attack, the 4 offices has been compromised. So in that 4 offices, the number of systems which are encrypted, so that has been identified and isolated, then the operations has been continued. So that kind of thing always we should be in ready mode and do the things. So that is a one we can understand. And another one is many systems what we observed is for communication purpose, many are using the Gmail accounts. So earlier, so I think it is in 2021. So still, how many are using Gmail accounts for the communication? My question, one question to you is, how many are using Gmail account? Or Reddit mail, or not their email accounts? How many are using Gmail account or Yahoo or Rediff, etc. for their communication for their employees who are not having dedicated email exchange for their organization or taken dedicated uh, communication mechanism for them? Okay, NIC you are using, good. Okay, MS Exchange, many are using MS Exchange. Okay. Official domain O365. Okay. So one more question is, how many are still using Windows XP or Windows 8 systems in your organizations? Windows XP and Windows 8. This is also one of the supply chain issues, because email is also one of the supply chain, systems also one of the supply chain. So these are the most influential one in order to penetrate on the systems. How many are using still XP or 7 or 8? Okay, we'll see how many are going to respond. Oh God. Seven, 8 and XP. How many still using? Still we are able to see 15% of the systems in many sectors, finance and power systems. We are able to see 15% of the systems still there. Can anybody respond why we should not use 7 or XP or 8?
There's no security patch which is getting released from Microsoft, so there's always under threat. So we should not use earlier version of Windows.
Okay. Anybody else also can respond.
And I think so. Microsoft also declared this XP is the end of life for Windows 8 also.
Okay, good. Next.
All are end of life, end of support.
End of service, end of sale, and end of support. Everything has been announced. So that's why specific question is a part of supply chain. This is very, very important because in case of any response to that, any attack happened, Microsoft itself told that I'm not supporting. What we are going to do with that? So that's why if anybody is there, anybody using 7, 8 and XP, try to replace immediately. 7, 8 and XP, if still exists in any of the form, you should have to replace that. Do not use that systems. Okay. So that's why Gmail also, because a lot of compromise is there. So that's why we should not use that, and try to use NIC email or your organization email that has been given as a office memorandum in 2021 itself. So that's why you should have to ensure that use this email ID only. So that is also one of the direction, and in order to avoid any compromise. This is one of the initiative, one of the control has been taken into the place. Then coming to new additions in the India Smart Grid framework. So that's what in India Smart Grid, in order to avoid. So new initiative has been taken that we are going to with various firewalls and other things. I think you already implemented one earlier. You are updated your earlier network architecture to the new architecture with the firewalls and other things. So that's what I think we have seen. A lot of people now improved their network level, but at substation level, and we should have to be very careful on that, how they are handling in the field operations. So that is one area we should have to take in place. So that's what how they have taken is this has been network policy as a part of network policy. The communication network of STUs and CTUs should be incorporated in that. So what are the policies are there? And remote controlling of transmission lines, generations, and LDCs, communication through to maintain the grid stability. That's what they're given. Power grid network, I think recently power grid telecom services also started. So to support that one, these that kind of network we should have to use, and in that especially MPLS should be stop the SDH and PDH equipment, replace that with the MPLS network. So which is more powerful and helps in avoiding compromises. So that's what that has been initiated by Ministry of Power. And unified network management systems. So all devices whichever is there, so the network system should be managed properly with the MPLS network, and devices connected to that to monitor. So that's why unified network management system should be established for that. So a lot of network architectures and suggestions in various forums and smart grid forums also has been explained, and you can take the help of expert systems. And another one is cybersecurity policy for ISTS. That is already we have seen that a firewall to be installed in ISTS and ISGS substation between the paths as gateways and fortes. That also they already clearly mentioned to avoid the things, and even cybersecurity instances of firewall being misconfigured. This is another area we are able to see. And the substation communication protocols do not include cybersecurity features in their original standards. So that's why technical standards group has been initiated. So they're given technical standards for that. And cyber institution into multiple substations scenarios that can't rule out and can't lead to catastrophic outages, to avoid the like Mumbai cases, to avoid the outages. So regularly you should start performing simulations of attacks, and I think CBIP also going to establish a simulation lab exercise for you. So how the firewall attacks, how the substation level attack, how the grid level attacks will be there. They are going to give you that lab exercises also as part of your course. Uh, uh, Live configuration, live attacks. That's what you have seen. How the live attacks are happening and which level attacks are happening. Also, we have seen. So similar way as simulated attacks also will be given. And another area is uh, access controls. That's what one of the critical components. So that we should have to take great initiative in that. That's what NIC has been given email system with employee ID and other things. The same maybe other systems also have the similar kind of things, so that we can use. And another area is the firewalls. Wherever firewalls are there, misconfiguration is one, and another thing is policy update on the firewalls regularly. That should be one of the priority area. We are writing policy, and just like that, many people are keeping like that. So regularly we should have to update the cyber firewall policy also, because how the new signatures, new threats are happening. According to that, our firewall policy also need to be updated. That is a one area we should be carefully monitor. So another area is the insider threats, insider attacks, and external connections to various vulnerable systems. That's what which has been detected in the systems. So that is also another area we should be carefully monitor. So these are various suggestions has been given by um, uh, uh, given for the CTUs, STUs, and Transcos and Gencos. So by the Ministry of Power and CEA. So coming to one of the another important area is the GIS network mapping. This is also very important to respond timely. A GIS network should be established, and wherever natural disasters are happening or man-made disasters are happening, how we are going to control that area and recover that area from the disruption of the services and those kind of things, in order to avoid the overloading of the systems, underloading of the systems, and real-time analysis of the systems, and GIS controls also should be in place to timely respond to that systems. GIS network mapping should be established. So that's why in most of the South grids, I think is a local language. South grid already using this solution in substations and supply lines, and geotagging has been taken place, and that's why they're able to see overloading and low voltage things, and mapping with this, and whenever any disaster happen, they're able to monitor carefully. And this has been monitored from the South Load Dispatch Center and POSOCO also. So regularly, if you are having this control, GIS network mapping and security to that GIS system, that is also another important area. So GIS should be in place, and monitoring of the GIS, and whenever any disaster happen, as a part of your supply chain and monitoring operations, we should be carefully monitor this one. So this is also one of the, if any compromise happen, this helps to immediately respond to that system. So another thing we should have to be careful one is the next level smart metering concept. So every house now is equipped with the smart meter, so which the ability to reduce load and disconnect remotely, interface to gas and other meters also is going to come. So the smart meter is reading and two-way communication. It has the two-way communication. So at distribution level, people should be very carefully monitor these smart metering one. So as we are getting the two-way communication, and there may be chance of compromising the smart meter, and from that it penetrates to the distribution level centers also. So that's where we should be carefully monitoring as part of smart metering, as it is penetrating every rural and urban areas also. So this is also another surface area or surface for attack vector. So we should be carefully monitor this infrastructure also. So that's why smart metering will become the data point. So to get the data or electric energy or voltage levels or current and power factors. So consumption behavior and customer billing, smart meters, etc. So which we are going to monitor is. So one of the critical factor is a two-way communication is there in this. So in this, any vulnerability injected into the smart meter is a part of advanced metering infrastructure. So we can imagine how the things will be in the place. So in this context, we should carefully control that AMI infrastructure, which has been provided in various cities, various urban and rural areas. So this is one of the challenging area. So in order to prepare them to respond in case of any incident happen, lot of awareness to the customers also we should have to establish wherever this AMI infrastructure has been involved. So that's why here the important level of discussion and prone areas are cellular communication, how that telecom service has been provided to that that AMI infrastructure, whether it's Wi-Fi or wireless kind of thing, and LoRa, that is low power long range wireless thing. So that also communication devices is given to that. So when you're establishing LoRa devices for transmission or distribution, that is also we should be carefully monitor. And Wi-Fi smart utility network also coming up. So that kind of capacity building has to be done for the various power sector professionals, so that Wi-Fi how we are going to use. And Zigbee, as we are using IoT devices in smart substations, smart meters. There also now how we are going to monitor that should be taken, and all these will be connected and transmitted data to my central servers and SCADAs. We should be analyze each and every devices and fix them accordingly. If anything is suspected and anomaly has been suspected in that areas, they should able to communicate, and accordingly the device may be uh, removed from the network or isolated from the network, and perform what are the operations or patch management has to be done. And centralized patch management, how we are going to manage centralizedly update those devices is also another challenge. Accordingly, our SOPs and the systems should be in place. So in this, another challenge is the AMI infrastructure not only having the electricity meters, it has the gas meter, heat meters, and water meters also, and that should be collaborated with other agencies where associated systems, metering data, and supplier business systems also. So that's where our IDS systems and IPS systems which also lead to outages, and there also we need capacity building and respond to that, and implement proper controls to avoid overloading of the grid. So that's what we should have to have. And verification methods involving analyzing network traffic is a biggest challenge for that. So network traffic in real time to detect the anomalies using IDS systems and IDS and IPS systems, and next generation and intelligent systems should be deployed into that networks in order to avoid the to detect the anomalies in that systems. So as a part of our, as a employee, our role at IT level and CISO security operations level, be alert and aware of any strange activity in your work environment. We should be very careful, and that's what we should have to report it and don't ignore it. So exactly what happened, we should be very careful on that. And next one is IT security incident should be reported to IT security team or security operations team. So accordingly, the correlation, if it is not detected, so most of the time is going to detect. If any new thing is there, we should have to report to them. And physical security incident should be reported to the admin team. So any physical related things like walls and entering into campuses, entering into the buildings, BMS systems, that should be report to them. So that is one of the area. And contribution to the incident management function. So any incident happened, how the cyber crisis management happened, how the functional team has been supported, how the HR human resource team has been helped in responding and fixing that issue in case of disaster happened, or DR drill when we are performing, how my production system has been given to the disaster system and disaster to production system role swapping, how it has been happened, how much time it is taken, how what is the delay in that, what is my recovery time objective and recovery point objective, because if it is zero it is good, and if it is taking longer time, how I'm going to avoid the downtime for that. So that is very carefully need to be planned. How with DC, DR, near DR, and high availability systems, how we are handling all these systems is also very important. As a employees, we should be involve them in every case to get best of the operations, and business continuity plan is also very important. It should be very minimal of disruption in the services. So that's what regularly every quarter, I think based on your policy, maybe 6 months or quarterly, business continuity BCP plan has to be taken place. And in that, how many days you are there on the disaster site, and what is the syncing between your DC and DR, data center and disaster recovery, and how much time, how many transactions are downtime, how many minutes of downtime you have taken to make your DC-DR drill. So that should be minimized. Nowadays, perpetuity and other systems also in the place to make both your DC and DR in sync with all the data, databases, applications, and everything. And that is one of the challenge. Continuously, no known DR drill is fine, but when disaster happen, how fast you're performing your crisis management, like Chennai tsunamis or Mumbai floods, and in that Vizag floods kind of thing, and even Himachal and other places, we are able to see a lot of flood cases also coming up. So in that context, how our entire end-to-end team who are involved in the cyber crisis management, how we are involving them, how they are responding, how my a tabletop exercise has been done regularly, and in case of incident, how the people are involved in that exercise to gain to continue the operations without disruption. How much, how I'm decreasing my disruption of service is very important. This is the important case for us, and in that level only the response, my planning, my supply chain, my human resources, how my ransomware attacks are happening, and how my communication escalation and communication has been taken from my L1 to L2, 3 to my board level people. How they have taken the decision is very, very important. That's where we require the support. We require the skilled people. We require the involvement of the employees. We require the awareness of the incident for the employees. So that's where we are able to provide proper service, and loss should be minimized, because once anything goes wrong, any loss happens, we can imagine the reputation of that, so which we cannot get, and which is going to impact our boards, our power systems, and entire nation also. So this is what as employees we require a lot of capacity building programs and continuously empower them to report any incident regularly. So this is one area. And if you look at information and uh, information systems and information security and management systems, we are able to see a lot of integration among them. So how my systems are integrated, like if you look at physical grid uh, power servers, so which is having the voltage adequacy and stability, and reserves optimization. So nowadays to get the optimization of my thing, we are able to get the AI/ML algorithms, a lot of artificial intelligence machine learning algorithms we are using to get the optimal power flow, and reducing load issues and other things, and safety constraints also. So that's where in physical grids we require in that servers a lot of AI/ML and data, big data, data science algorithms, and many things we are using in that areas. And another major disruption areas are network risks and reliability modeling. So that's why a lot of modeling techniques are coming up, and energy security level, malicious human behavior. That's what is the one of the risk prone areas. How much you are given to them in a technical aspect, in awareness aspect, then all the aspect of the malicious human behavior is very, very important. Continuously U-based servers and U-based systems should be given this kind of network risk and reliability modeling. And natural hazards we have seen, and terrorism also we are able to observe. A lot of terrorism attacks also happen, uh, are coming up, and we the biggest challenge for us. And we should be ready with our technical controls and things, and unplanned disruptions. That's what we are saying. And our aim is to get the resilience in the systems. Whatever attacks are happening, we are ready, and we are withstand, and we are able to power grid, or transmission, or central transmission units, or state transmission units, STUs and CTUs, as well as load balancers also. We are resiliently withstand with any attacks. So that kind of thing is there. So that's where relevant policy changes based on the um, incidents, based on the new technology, based on the change management, we should be ready with the policy change. Not only yearly once, we are able to change regularly, at least once they're mentioning the policy. Even the board level people also has been given a lot of sensitization on the cyber security policy in the power systems. Accordingly, they are able to release the allocate the budget for IT and cyber security. So that's where we should also know how much budget has been allocated, and what kind of new initiatives we can include in these systems also we can able to provide. And communication infrastructure, that's what agent based systems, how that's what the chatbots and other things also now coming up, protocols, Byzantine generation problems, how we are handling, and communication disruption contingency planning. That's what MPLS networks also we are preferring for that. So dual connection,
Sir, I have a
multi-connection.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir, this is Anil here. As
Yeah.
you mentioned, sir, that should be some budget for even information security or some IT security, right? Or cyber
Yeah.
security,
Yeah.
right? So, are there any parameter that say number of devices should have minimum this much? You can say security installed or something with respect to, you can say, budget wise, or say with respect to, you can say, documentation wise?
Not device.
I mean to say, I have number of devices like switches, servers, all the smart devices, all these devices, right? Now, based on that, what will be my minimum security parameter that I should maintain it? Are there any guideline on that?
So base cyber hygiene has been given by MIT, but that is a generic one. But if you come into the specific to the power sector, we should have to assess based on the controls you require, and accordingly you can write your budget. And by general, they have mentioned 10% of your business, minimum 10%.
Minimum 10% of our revenue, right? Business revenue.
Yeah. Business revenue.
Okay, okay. In which guideline you are referring, sir? If I want to see more details, then can you refer some?
Actually, that is not yet released because National Cyber Security Strategy 2020 to 2025 that has been mentioned. I think they have not yet released it. We are waiting for that. But RBI already mentioned for the financial systems.
Okay.
You can take that RBI. You can take
Reference.
RBI guideline. You can take that.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So 10% of the revenue or 10% of the IT budget? I think it's 10% of the IT budget should be spent on security.
Not security. 10%
like
as IT and cyber security.
Yeah, like if I have a budget of let's say 1 lakh, just a small example on my IT infrastructure. So accordingly, 10,000 should be spent on the cyber security.
Yeah.
Is it understanding clear? Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, because I think
that is a minimum, not.
Yeah, that is yeah. We are talking about minimum, but I heard that it is of the the revenue. So I think
not revenue.
Maybe
not revenue.
yeah.
Budget.
It
I'm
is,
talking about the budget.
Yes.
Your annual budget.
Yes. Clear, sir. Thank you.
Concept we have done the same way. We have conducted a lot of programs to the board level people. Initially, we conducted for the CISOs in the CISO forum. So they are saying a lot like this only. We are not allocated budget, and we are into the reporting the risk officers, compliance officers, and CT technology team is not supporting. All this we got feedback from the CISO team. Then what we have done is we have conducted a lot of programs for the board level people and chairman level people. Then accordingly now they release the budget for this IT and cyber security. Working together to get anything. The technology team is implementing, and security team is doing internal cyber security audits and complaints. Everything now they are doing. So like that, we at our level we are also penetrating to wherever problem is there. We are able to solve that one. Is that fine? Okay. So these are various communication related and energy market related also. So wherever is there, we should have to use that one. So as a part of that, how our communication should be established, secure communication, and wherever electrical interfaces are there, wherever domain related things are there, how you are going to connect to that. So bulk generation level, transmission and distribution, and customer level, and service provider level, and operations level, market level. How we are going to connect in the form of communication. And coming to the risk analysis level, so how our systems at bulk generation in the bulk generation and transmission also. So maybe we will share these things to you to reduce the risk also. and and customers level, and these are one of the complex area. So most of the compromise we should carefully monitor this, and in order to avoid any disruption in the networks. So next, if you look at complete level, to maintain power system reliability, I need to manage both the power system infrastructure and its supporting information infrastructure. So one is power system infrastructure, another one is the IT infrastructure, which is going to support the power system. We can see here. So now if you look at the another layer is coming up, and how we should have to secure this, and these are the areas where most of the time compromise is going to happen. You can see here. So entire from generation to transmission to distribution to the customer level. So how the power communication is there, and to get that one, to get secure all these infrastructure, power infrastructure, how the information and infrastructure should support that, and understand this accordingly. We should be secure these with the proper controls, and to control this all human resource level, communication level, information level, operators level, all the security is required uh, to timely respond to any incident happen at any point of time, and at any locations. We should be carefully monitor that. So like that, if you understand, so how the weaknesses are there in the power sector. So generation level, we have 11% attacks over there, so that's what is old data. And transmission level, we should be very careful. That what STU and CTU levels, lot of action attacks are going to be taken, and 14% at substation level, and 13% at customer and consumer level. So that's what electric terrorism is taking place, and a percentage of attacks are there. So the vulnerabilities at a telemetry level, so that's what data connectivity have no security protocols over there. So that's why technical standardization also coming into the picture. And consumer data now. So another important area is the consumer data. So stolen from smart grids and put to malicious use. Now we are able to see BBPS also coming into the picture, Bharat Bill Payment System. So every provider now is having the BBPS. So for that, our billing data has been exposed in the form of APIs. So that is also one of the important area we should carefully monitor. And 0-day attacks, we are seeing that's why zero due to gaps, network zoning, default password, and outdated patch updates. That's what Windows, XPs, all these are avoided. Legacy systems also slowly we should have to migrate to the new systems. We should avoid slowly legacy systems also. And we are able to see generation vulnerabilities. The SCADAs and authentication. That's what weak authentication. That's why two-factor and multi-factor are the control mechanisms, backdoors and ladder logics also we should avoid. That's why code level, logic level also. Nowadays every programming level also, we are static coding and dynamic coding level also we are able to understand. And the transmission vulnerabilities, the distributed denial of service on the smart grids, and malicious data injections also taking place on the controllers and SCADA PLCs. And distribution level, that's what impersonation is happening, and smart metering tampering through unauthorized control. So we should be very careful with this. So to avoid all this, we require proper response planning level, response level, supply chain level, and communication level also, to whom how you are going to communicate and escalate the problems at product level, service level, operations level. So at every level we require the knowledge and technology and people, process, and technology. So that's what we are able to see. That's what we can see. Various initiatives has been taken as a part of automating human resources. Also, they are monitoring now, taking ERP in. Um, they are doing ERP project to provide various services to employees also, and based on that, they're coming up with various systems like knowledge systems to make them to understand about the things. So even hacking also happened, how they're responding, and immediately how they're reporting to the set team. That is also another important area from CISO. Yeah. Hello.
Can you please go to, sir, I had one question. Can you please go to the previous slide?
Yeah. Any question?
Sir, can you please go to the previous slide?
Yeah, this one only or next one?
Previous one, previous.
This one?
Yeah, sir. I just want to know what is the source of this information. That's the attack distribution across various subsectors of power sector. So what is the source of this information? The last line, the last bar which you have shown, na? Blue, red, green, and purple. What is the source of this information?
This is from international grid. I'll send you that. I'll give you that. No issues.
Sir, it's not specific to Indians. Yeah, sir.
Not
it's
Indian.
not specific to Indian.
Not Indian.
Indian power sector.
It's
Kindly
not
to share
Indian.
this source. Okay.
Yeah.
Kindly to share the source.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Any other questions?
So, okay.
Your voice is breaking.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So another challenging is now smart cities also another important area. Now, as a part of smart cities, lot of initiatives has been taken in the power sectors. So there also now we are integrated with AMI infrastructure and the SCADA systems, other things also, line and pole testing, recording. So this is also there. So there outage management system and service orders for various vendors, and customer information system is also another area to onboard to get the meters and etc. So substation regulators, as we are seeing, CEA and POSOCO, etc. So this is also another important area when you're providing services at smart city level or urban level things, and how we are using GIS information to that, and how we are exchanging the APIs and securing that APIs. Monitoring that APIs is also another area now we should have to think of and maybe deploy. If it is available, it's fine. If it is not available, now APIs exchange is also coming into the picture, and API monitoring system and API identity system is also very important to avoid any attack onto the power systems. So in that we are able to see a lot of docs and other things also there, so which are able to provide leakages in the various systems, product level and service level. We can regularly analyze your web services level or your online devices level. You can get various Google Docs and regularly update, check this at your level, whether it's Cisco's level, whether it is link level, wherever it is there, your printer level, your SCADA level. Regularly you can get what are the loopholes are there. As a security team, you can continuously get it in your antivirus signature level also, you can find it out. So even a lot of data collection tools with the Kali and other things also there. So in that information gathering, how this is happening. Internal level also you can perform to gather information, vulnerability and assessment, and web application security, database assessment, any whether is encrypted in transmission and storage, that also you can find us. And password attacks, a lot of password attacks, brute force and other things also there. So that we should have to carefully monitor with that. And there's reverse engineering exploit tools also there, which are the exploit tools are there. Sniffing and spoofing at your email level and your network level, how your sniffing is taking place, how the packets are taken, and any anomalies are found in the network packets, that also we should have to understand. Forensic level, what are the data logs are there, FTKs are there, or how if any data is deleted or anything is remotely shared, kind of thing also you can perform with the forensic toolkits, FTKs, data loggers and other things. So that capacity also we should have to increase. And you can be in touch with the national forensic thing also regularly and analyze if anything is moving from one place to other place. That also important. And reporting tools and social engineering, nowadays we are able to see a lot of social engineering also happening on the critical employees on the in the transmission and generation level. So a lot of honeypots also coming, honeypots also, honey traps also happening. So that is also very important to analyze that, because those kind of things in while you're responding to any incident. So predict detection is very important in the honeypot areas, because afterwards lot of issues will be there. So in order to avoid that kind of thing, lot of this social media control should be there while you're using mobile in the office, or mobile using in your mobile, installing your some of the official related apps and accessing those emails and other things. And most of the what you call employees do not have the antivirus in their mobile. So my question is, do you have antivirus in your mobile? How many are yes? Do you have?
Yes.
Do you have do you have antivirus in your mobile? And are you using official related emails and other applications in your mobile?
Yes.
We are seeing some no's also. Windows
Yes,
Defender
yes.
is up to some level only.
Yes.
Okay, good. So how many are using official related email as well as other applications in your mobile? And second one is, do you have antivirus in your mobile? So both the question. So this is what supply chain assessment of cyber security, whether how the security penetration is there. Still we are able to see few no's. So that is also one of the entry point. So how is you're accessing few emails and other things in your mobile? So you can imagine. So how this threat vector will be there, and how the threat intelligence will be taken into the consideration and penetrate from your mobile to other locations also. So various things will be used, and a lot of tools, NSS, Wireshark kind of things also, Splunk and Virus Total. So this is also one of the thing. I think you have one exercise on that, how you're going to test your files, Rapid7, Acunetics, SQL mapping injections, how you're going to metasploit, the social engineering toolkit, forensic toolkits. I think you have in subsequent one also. Aircrack is made, and best practices. So that's what we require, a lot of best practices, because always we should have the practices, then only we can avoid the security anomalies in the systems. ISO 27001, COVID, PCI DSS, ISO 31000 series for risk assessment and risk management. and risk mitigation and risk transformation. So always we should have the statement of applicability for all the devices. Just now somebody asked how I am going to get the risk device level budget. Once you created your statement of applicability as per the ISO, so you know this is a risk prone area. These are my risk controls, and this the risk mitigation plans with me, and this I cannot control. And to control these kind of budget is required for my firewall, my devices, my SCADA, my IoT, so my servers, my cloud, all these are taken into the consideration. So that's why always we should have to have the statement of applicability with all the things which is going to help me to assess my insurance also. So another one is the gov practice also we can use knock, SOC, sign, command and control center and SCAD practices also we should have to use. Oh, so these and that's what identity and access management, how your users and what kind of roles and given and segmented to avoid the escalating your access. So authentication mechanism and authorization mechanism, how what kind of privileges has been given to each and every employees based on the identity based on their role. So that's what helps in mitigating the risks and timely respond to that. So these are various things, and that's what we should have the multi-factor, two-factor, and OTP controls should be in place. So that's why these are the various risk uh, response related things we should have to use as part of response to any kind of incident in the power systems. So with this, I would like to ask one question to all is that so many no known only I'm able to see. So that's what a CBIP now we should have to have control on the mobiles also, mobile related MDM devices, monitoring, that kind of suggestions also we should have to give it to them. So that's what if you look at these attacks, all attacks are many attacks are DDoS is prone to that, and carefully they're monitoring and attacking onto that systems. So with this one more thing I thought of showing something. If you have any questions, I'm open for the questions. So as a part of this, we have covered response in case of anything happen, how the response is there. So in that response planning level, then risk assessment level, then support level, ransomware, what kind of ransomware attacks, and mention at least 3 ransomware names also. Please mention 3 ransomware names. Supply chain attack, then communication plan. We have been discussed all this. Thank you. Thanks a lot. If you have any questions, you can.
Yeah, Srinivas
Thank you,
ji,
sir.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Basically, you have mentioned that about MDM, the organization should implement MDM policies and all. So in, I mean, a lot of organization, I feel that they doesn't, reimburse the entire mobile phone costing, and also it's kind of they pay some part of. So user are always reluctant to install because of the data privacy and all. So how these cases, I mean, taken care by the organization? How should we pitch in basically that without having this we cannot install configure our organization application? should we implement a policy and write these things in the policy, or how do we take it ahead?
First, we
And
are going to
data privacy law is also there. So
yeah.
I mean, how do we convince user that we are not copying anything or something? So they are reluctant, I know, users.
So in mobile device management, whichever container I am creating, whenever I'm operating that one, I'm not communicating with any other apps or any other SMS or any other applications in your device. That is also there in the most of the MDMs. My content, my MDM
Agree. I
container will
mean,
restrict.
that
Yeah.
we sorry to interrupt, but that we always show it to them, give them a demo or something. But still, adaptability, acceptability is always an issue. They are saying that because
Initially,
it's our
yeah,
personal this
yeah.
thing. So
So
convincing
many
them
won't,
is always
many won't initially won't accept. That's what we should have to conduct a lot of POCs on that. So we also people, they are also reluctant. Later they understood and the importance of that. Slowly they'll adapt. They'll take slowly. That is the one.
sure. Noted. Thank you.
Yeah. Last question from my side is that how many of you are having cyber liability insurance for your all IT equipments? Yes or no? Cyber liability insurance. So that's what statement of applicability is going to help you to assess your premium and underwriting to get cyber liability insurance for your organization. Do you have cyber liability insurance for your all IT equipments? Yes or no? Cyber liability insurance, cyber insurance, whatever it is. Cyber insurance for your IT equipment. Okay, be careful. We should have to take cyber liability insurance also. This is very important. As per the mandate of CEA, CEA also mentioned that you should have cyber liability insurance for your all your equipments. This is one of the audit point, non-compliance point. You should have to take it. You should take that based on your statement of applicability. The various products also available in case of anything happens, and in response to that, this is going to help you. So with this, we are concluding the session. Thank you.
Last
Yeah.
questions.
Cyber
Last
liability.
You just said
cyber.
yeah. I got the point, sir. You just mentioned that it's mentioned in the CA also, cyber liability insurance. Sir, in which this cyber liability you just stated na, in CA also the cyber liability insurance has also been mentioned. Where in which section or in which notification has it been mentioned? Can you share?
I'll share you that. I'll share you that. Actually,
Because,
readily I'm not available. That is there. I'll share you. I'll share with
Thank you.
people. They'll share it with you.
You share with CBIP, and in turn they will share with all the participants. Okay.
Yes. Even MIT also clearly defined that.
Okay, sir. So both the supporting docs kindly do share, sir.
Yeah. So that will help you to get this one. I can understand.
Right, sir. Right.
Yeah. I know the difficulty in giving justification to board people to get these kind of things. Okay. Anything else? We are on time now. I think 8:20 already.
Yes, sir. If there are no further questions, then we may close the session.
Any other questions? Yeah.
So we may close the session, sir. It's an honor having you today, and thank you, sir, for your lecture today. Thank you, sir. On behalf of CBIP, we thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks for giving me opportunity to share my
Yes.
knowledge.
It's an
Thank
honor.
you. Thanks a lot.